somebody watching.
Time. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the Featherstone Rovers LD Nutrition Stadium today, and we are about to witness the Armistice Test, which is an inaugural event between Team Colostomy UK and a United Yorkshire PDRL team, who are made up from Castleford Tigers, Leeds Rhinos and Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. So they're all playing together, and obviously we're going to be playing PD rules, but touch only. I'm talking to my marvellous fountain of knowledge here.
Yes, so having spoke to the referee and the players, I think the decision is to mainly play to PDRL rules, to keep it simple for everybody. I believe the only change is there will be no conversions today, so it'll be 4 points for a try, and then the ball will turn over.
Fantastic. So that should make it a little bit easier for us in terms of knowing what the rules are all about. And we are stood on the gantry, which is a little bit rocky, so thankfully the weather is beautiful. We do have a team sheet. Do please be aware that we have not pronounced these names before for Team Colostomy UK, and we don't actually know any of the players, so if we make a mistake, please forgive us. It's not intentional. We just have only just got a list. Oh dear. So the Featherstone Rovers ground is absolutely amazing, and they've been kind enough to allow us to play on their main pitch, which obviously for some of these guys is the first time they've actually played rugby. It's the first time they've played on such an amazing pitch. We have a full stadium going on, and there are people here watching. That's what's impressing me most of all. Actual people watching. We have our referee, Stuart Marshall, just warming up, limbering up on the side of the pitch. Actually, he's just stood there with his hands on his pockets, to be fair, so maybe he needs to do a bit of jogging. Mike Roby is here with his camera doing some photos for us for free, which again is a lovely gesture from him. And Tony is here doing all of the videography. The teams are now coming out of the tunnel. And we will be observing a minute's silence before kick-off. So if we stop talking, that's why. The teams are coming out now. To be fair, the kit has been designed by the PDRL team themselves. The logo of the team has also been designed by the lads. So I think it looks amazing, and it's got the poppy on the middle to represent the Armistice Test game.
All those that are able, could you please stand? The silence will commence on the referee's whistle.
I thought the hooter was stuck on there. One of the things that always impresses me about rugby league, and I don't know about you, but whenever you have a minute's silence for remembrance of anything, if a player's passed away or anything like that, there is absolutely no noise.
Oh, no, I agree completely with you. I think for some of these boys in particular, it rings particularly true. There's a few players who come from a military background in the PDRL community, so they show that absolute respect and actually sort of understand maybe more than most what's behind it.
I know Ash Lockwood is playing, isn't he? And he's one of the lads who has been injured in service, and Simon Brown is quite a well-known veteran.
Yes.
Who has actually bought the kit, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. Simon unfortunately isn't playing today because he's down at the Cenotaph in London over the weekend, obviously with Armistice Day being part of those celebrations. But like you say, he has very kindly paid for the kit that the boys are wearing today. Obviously the poppy features quite prominently, and I know, having been in the changing rooms, it means a lot to a lot of the guys. I also know that the design is based off of some of the older Great Britain shirts.
Which I really love.
Yeah.
The old ones, the vintage look.
And those colours I think really represent sort of what this weekend as a whole is about.
Okay, so the game is underway. Stuart Marshall there has just given us the whistle. PDRL United did take the kick-off, and we are watching Colostomy UK come out their own 30. This is actually quite a fast-moving game. I think they maybe need to get some fitness work in on the off-season. Colostomy UK moving it wide onto the far side. I'll be honest with you, I can't actually see any of the numbers from up here. Al Dickinson's working quite hard in the middle there.
Yeah, that won't last long. Some good ball movement here. So turnover there, because Colostomy UK have had their set of 6 tackles. PDRL will start just shy of the halfway line. Johnny Humphreys with the first carry. I think touch and pass presents such a different challenge to some of these guys. Obviously the temptation is to go away from your structure, but you've still got to go forward. You can't just throw the ball around, or else you'll be on a hiding to nothing. Darren Dean caught in possession. The ball goes quickly to the right. Really hard work on the line from Colostomy UK. Defence is a big part of touch and pass. If you can get up off your line, you're not going to miss many tackles. And off the kick, Colostomy UK managed to turn the ball over, and they'll start from their own 20. I think, having spoken to the PDRL boys, it'll be interesting to see how they manage their squad today. I think it's fair to say a lot of these boys normally, when we play, work in the forwards. Not really a forwards game, this, to be quite honest with you, Emma.
There's an awful lot more pace than the forwards are used to. I mean, like you said, Al's working quite hard, but he normally gets a little slight breather, doesn't he, after a tackle?
So there's lots of opportunities in the game, breaks in the game, in PDRL, where you can get a little bit of a rest. Turnovers, like you say, on kick chase, when you're turning over to defend. At the minute, after every set, the ball's being turned over almost instantly, and I think you can see it maybe catching up with some of the PDRL boys at the minute.
That is, to be fair, why I suggested we only play the 25 minutes instead of 40, because an awful lot of, if you've cerebral palsy lads that we've got playing wouldn't be able to make a 40 minutes half, I don't think. Nice little throw out the back there by Johnny Humphreys. Customer UK there are way offside. Mr. Marshall was trying to pull them back. It's a deep kick down to the touch. And now the Customer UK are now bringing it off their own line.
Yeah,
it's a nice run.
Got to work the way out now. Trying to do that with speed. Obviously a huge part of touch and pass. Try to pull the PDRL boys wide and then work back to the middle. I think they're up to the 4th tackle in their set, and they've made maybe 20 metres off their own line. So on that kick there, it came down. The refs called back to 1 because it came off the PDRL player, and they'll really look to take advantage of this now, will Team Colostomy. Oh, good pick up there. I think, like I was saying earlier, I can hear from up here both coaches calling for the teams to calm it down. There's a tendency to get carried away when sometimes all you need to do is settle, get to the right part of the pitch. So they've caught with the kick well there of PDRL United. Again though, this is the hard yards. They're getting away from your own sort of line, your own 10. Oh, good kick from the half there, and a good chase from Connor Lyons on that far wing. Again, they'll try to turn up the pressure here. 2 tackles within, you know, a couple of seconds, and I think that illustrates just how tough this game is physically. I'm just trying to work out what the referee's given there. It appears he's given offside. You know, if the ball's played, Mick Greensmith there's tried to sneak round and pick the ball up, because there was no dummy half there.
There's no way that Mick Greensmith is sneaking anywhere.
No. I know, having had a flick through the team sheet, some of the Colostomy UK boys have got experience playing tag rugby. Obviously not exactly the same derivative, but relies on a lot of the same skills as touch and pass. So good footwork, good speed. Back to 1 given there by the referee from the touch from Dan. I think maybe PDRL UK are starting to realise that if they're going to slow these guys down while we're playing touch and pass, there are some little things you can do. So if you just get your body in the way, you can slow that ruck down just a little bit, which we've just seen in the last 2 tackles. Booming pass out wide there to the winger, tries a flick, well picked up.
Good work from Connor.
Last tackle here, kick goes up wide to the corner. Well taken by the PDRL United player, and again working away from their own line. Good line there, good push from Tommy Pouncey. 2 Leeds teammates joining together there. Johnny Humphreys thumps the ball deep on the last tackle. It's just going to run dead. We'll restart with a tap on the 20 with the Colostomy UK receiving a 7-tackle set.
I'm just looking at the clock there, and we've got 16 minutes left, and I think they actually look tired already. I didn't realise how fast-paced it would be.
I think it's a completely fair comment. I think with rugby in particular, people think if you take the contact out of it, you make it a lot easier. But
there's just no rest, is there?
No, there's absolutely no chance for a break. You've still got to get back on side every time, which anyone who has played knows that's probably the hardest thing to do.
I've just noticed that Johnny Humphreys has actually left the pitch, and he did have some attention in back play from the physio, so hopefully he's okay.
From a very selfish point of view, yes, hopefully he's okay. I know Johnny don't come off unless he's completely struggling.
I'm not sure what Darren was doing there.
No, I think maybe these play the balls need straightening up a little bit, cleaning up a little bit. I think it's worth mentioning that for the referee it's probably a new experience as well, or something that he's not used to doing very regularly. Whoa. Great take there. PDRL look to counter, and it's probably fair to say this is the best piece of possession they'll have had so far. And again, the set wiped there by the referee. Great line.
They actually look like they're starting to play as a team a little bit now.
Well, yeah, obviously, sections of the PDRL UK team PDRL United team have played together. So I think there's 6 lads from Wakefield, a similar number from Leeds, and a couple from Castleford. So you can see little bits of those combinations, and as they get used to each other as a whole, you'll probably see an improvement throughout the game.
And I think it's notable to say that we, as a PDRL United team, haven't actually managed to have a practice. So the lads have literally come together this morning.
Ooh.
Great little darting run there.
Oh, the referee's called him held there, I think, Emma.
That's Kennedy Cocker there from Cast Tigers.
Came off an excellent kick to the corner, and I totally agree. PDRL United seem to have got a little bit of structure when they've finally got some good ball. Oh.
I think PD team need to close down a little bit defensively.
Yeah. In touch and pass, it is all about them first 5 metres, getting up really quick. You can see there, Tommy Pouncey again, while it's touch, getting his arms around, just trying to slow the ruck down, which I think bought the time for the next tackle for the man to get up and force that error there. And while an error doesn't turn the ball over in this variant of the game, what it does do is buy you maybe a couple of seconds breath, which you wouldn't get otherwise. Oh, lucky.
It's very difficult to actually commentate with a non-bias view. I feel like I'm gonna just bear with me.
Yeah, so Emma's just had to shoot off there. PDRL United had the ball about on their 30-metre line, trying to work forward. They need probably a little bit more organisation. The kick just goes over the winger's head. It's a great chase there. And it looks like that could be the first try of the game. Came off a deep kick, it looked like nothing was on. Proves the point that hard chase can get you there.
Successful try for PDRL, 10 strong, PDRL 4, possibly taken.
So yes, that takes the score to PDRL United 4, Colostomy UK 0. As I said earlier, we won't be taking any conversions today, so it will stay at 4-0. And what that does by both sets of teams is a chance to catch their breath. PDRL make a couple of changes. One of the co-captains, Dan Roberts, is one of the men who's gave way. You know, really try to keep up with the pace of that game. I think they'll roll them subs as much as they can. Colostomy UK just trying to pick up the pace a little bit. I think that really is key in this game, you know, catching the men who've not quite made it onside. Great hands there. Connor Lyons trying to work away from that wing now. Good work from Mark, he catches him. Again, both teams, you know, keeping it simple as they get out. You know, no one wants to defend close to their own line. Oh, just as the ball goes that wide, hands let them down a little bit. There is some space on this side for the PDRL team to attack. Just caught on the fifth tackle, it'll be a turnover, giving PDRL, making PDRL defend in their own half. From what I've seen so far, I'd say probably Colostomy UK. They maybe have more dangerous individuals when they're attacking. PDRL United, when they've got in good ball, they have organised and looked maybe a little bit more structured. And it's be interesting to see which one wins out. You know, individuals who can attack, or a team that will maybe make little bit better decisions. Interesting kick there, and a good alert defence from PDRL United turns the ball over. Oof. Oh, and that's the sort of thing you do need to avoid. In both PDRL and the variation we're playing today, there's very few ways you can turn the ball over, but an intercept is one of them. And you know, PDRL United on scramble now. And Colostomy UK very unlucky not to find the space that is starting to open up a bit now, it's got to be said. PDRL United survive. Again, coming away right from this bottom corner. You know, there is a lot of space in and around the ruck. I think both teams are trying to exploit that. With those quick play the balls. Again, great work on defence from Colostomy UK. Forces a turnover deep in PDRL's sort of territory. Good footwork there, looking to find half a gap. And then again rolling off the back of that quick play the ball. If either team's going to have any success today, that's what that's going to come off. Excellent cover tackle there from Connor Lyons, stopping what looked like an almost certain try. We've got just over 5 minutes left to play here in this first half. And now PDRL United look to pick this pace up a little bit. And looky there, I think you know, there's a little bit of panic there, not realising it's the fifth. Move the ball wide, you know, ends up in a turnover. Again, they're the sort of things you want to avoid. Cheap turnovers, you know, giving yourself more defence to do than maybe you want to, and defence in the wrong part of the pitch. Well, he seeks to a gap there. Tries to round Connor Lyons. Probably just a little bit of miscommunication there from PDRL United, but a great run. So that does level the score up at 4-all. Obviously, every time is a good time to score. Just before half time is even better. And what you've just seen there is something that makes you know, all forms of the game in rugby league so special. Both sets of players looking to get everyone involved and give everyone an opportunity to succeed. The referee's going to bring this back. Both players, you know, will have to come back. They both look a bit bemused. I think both teams now, we've got just over 2 minutes left to play. Both teams will be happy to get to half time. PDRL United with you know, the ball in a good position once again. Last tackle's called. Well dealt with by number 23 for Colostomy UK. Looks to work out, get back to the middle. It's got to be said, they are favouring attacking down this right hand side. Excellent full back play from Connor Lyons there. Cut down the angle and kept on the inside. Cut off both the pass and knew he had the pace to keep with the man, so he didn't go down the outside. They look to work back to the middle now. Colostomy UK are pushing up well around the ball. There's lots of support, and they are starting to find those gaps. The ref's going to pull this one back for a knock on, I think, despite the football skills. I think it's fair to say both teams are just looking to play out this last set, get to half time and get a little bit of a breather. Oof, just misjudged that kick there from the fullback. PDRL United push through. They've got one more tackle to make as you hear the final hooter. And Connor Lyons makes that final tackle. And the referee's whistle brings half time at the LD Nutrition Stadium. The score is 4 apiece between Team PDRL United and Team Colostomy UK. Both teams, to be perfectly honest with you, look like they need the rest. They've worked really, really hard. And I think 4-4 at half time is probably a fair reflection of probably PDRL United started a little bit stronger, but as the game wore on, Colostomy UK's maybe mobility caught up with PDRL United, and they really looked to ratchet up that pace and find some space with the ball. And we're back underway at the LD Nutrition Stadium. Team Colostomy UK have kicked off, recovered by Team PDRL United, who are trying to work their way out. Great inside ball there. Two Leeds teammates teaming up to try and find a gap. I think now's a good time, after half time, just to mention all the people that have come out today to support this great cause. At the end of the day, we are here to support, a charitable cause. And a lot of people, actually quite a few more than I expected, have made their way out today. Both teams will try and put some entertaining rugby on in the second half. Great little show and go there, just caught unfortunately, on the cover by Darren Dean, one of the co-captains. Who again works hard from market. I think if I was to put my microphone down and put my coach's hat on for a minute, I think probably PDRL United, when they get the ball, need a little bit more organisation in attack, maybe need a designated 9 a few times. You want to get off the back of those quick play the balls, which Colostomy UK have been doing, but if there's no one there to receive the play the ball, you really can't take advantage of that. Great chase, Penn's Connor Lines in the corner. Excellent footwork, and we could be on for a break here. The cover tackle there was made by Darren Fagan of Colostomy UK, who's been playing for a long time. Made his debut this year for Colostomy UK. Good hands from Alex Dickinson, one of my fellow coaches at Wakefield. Nearly creates a half break, and Darren Dean tries to make an attack off the back of that. Unfortunately, just caught by good work from Marker. The kick goes up high and into the corner. Not dealt with by Team Colostomy UK, and PDRL will get another set. They need to look left here, that's where a lot of the space is. They have started this half very brightly, both teams pushing into gaps. Maybe the rest was what was needed. Oh, this could be back to 1 here, and the referee has given back to 1. I think the key here is not to get too excited. You've got ball in good position, just push and eventually a gap will be created. Crash ball there, that is a rarity in touch rugby. Oh, well dealt with, dangerous kick there, covered up by Colostomy UK. They'll have to drop the ball out though and defend another set of 6. They work their way to the middle. A good place to start an attack from. The space is to the left if they go quick. Keep it in and around that ruck. The kick goes up high on the left. but unfortunately it's too long. It goes into the back of the stand. A good set of defence from Colostomy UK, and they can come away now from the 20 with a 7-tackle set. Again, I feel like PDRL United just need a little bit more organisation. Both halves there got caught with the ball. Those are the guys that need to be putting the plays on. You need to create space, because obviously you can't just use grunt and power to get your way over the line. You can see here Colostomy UK just working methodically to get away, not taking too many big risks. They look to swing the ball to the left now. Good rush defence from Darren Dean. Closes that down rather quickly. The kick's drilled into the corner. Both teams might get maybe 10 seconds rest here, unlike in the normal game, where, you know, if you pack a scrum, you might get a minute just to get your breath back. You know, the pace of this game, I will stress again, is very frantic. At the minute, you know, the main difference between the two teams is just the amount of bodies pushing up around the ball for Colostomy UK. I can hear from up here both captains for PDRL United, both Darren Dean and Dan Roberts, doing an awful lot of talking. Oh, it might be back to one here. Darren Dean works hard to recover his own kick off the charge down. They look to work the ball to their left now to PDRL United, using a little bit of footwork. Oh, unlucky spill there. The referee kindly says the first tackle was complete. Again, the speed is just catching out PDRL United. Colostomy UK have a couple of players who can just jump in behind that ruck, find that little bit of space and get them on the front foot. Oof. Both teams at the minute trying to find a way to break down the opposition. I think both have started defending really strong this second half. We'll see, you know, as fatigue becomes a factor again, whether that makes much of a difference. It's fifth tackle here for PDRL United. Little bit of frustration there, I think. You know, sometimes having to go back, play the ball again like they just did, you know, that's when those mental errors creep in. I know Dino won't be happy with that on a personal note. You can see the structure here from Colostomy UK. They're starting really slow, a couple of carries before looking to go wide. And they keep pushing in that direction, hoping that they've created some space and the pass just doesn't go to hand, but they did manage to create the space. You know, troubling times, but really positive times for Colostomy UK, working that ball to their right. The referee calls the last tackle. The ball's probably going to go up in the air here. Well taken from PDRL United, and they look to work their way out. The halfback picks up, he goes, finds a little bit of space. Good cover tackle there, and a moment for Colostomy UK here as they debut their first female player, who is Libby Herbert, who's just come off the bench. Ref gives a penalty there. Darren Dean playing with them a little bit. Dummies to kick. Then taps the ball himself, takes a good 10 metres. Mick Greensmith goes off the back of that. Dan Roberts and Tommy Pouncey link up, make another 10 metres, and suddenly PDRL United are in a good ball position. Oh, great, well covered there by Owen Lockwood. Referee having a bit of a joke with the players there, calls that pass forward. Or does he not? Gives the tackle. This is the fifth and last for PDRL United. Chip over the top. There's a good chase there up the middle, and the kicker covers his own kick. Oh, some space there. Well covered by Mick Greensmith on the break. But Colostomy UK are rolling now, 3 tackles, 30 metres. Just pushing PDRL United back up the pitch. They work the ball back to the middle. Some communication there as Libby Herbert takes her first tackle. And a good bit of sportsmanship as Connor Lyons explains what she needs to do next. Bit of a slice kick picked up there by the fullback for PDRL United. Looks to launch the counter attack. Good ball on the inside. Some excellent work from Marker there. There are some tired bodies starting to creep in out again. We've played roughly half of the second half with about 12 minutes to go. Last tackle here, ball central for PDRL United. They'll look to be putting the kick in, it goes up in the air. There's a chase through. It's not dealt with first time, but it is dealt with second time by Colostomy UK. The score's still locked at 4-all. Neither team has looked like breaking that actually this second half, despite both having ball in pretty good positions. Again, it's the speed of the ruck that's starkly different. Good kick pressure there, gets PDRL United the ball back on the halfway. And you know, despite that error that's just happened there, I think a lot of the good stuff that's come up for PDRL United in this second half has been on the back of Dan Roberts. He's doing an awful lot of talking. I can hear him even up here in the gantry. As they work the ball to the right and find a little bit of space, just not quite got that cutting edge at the minute. Last tackle called here on the 40. It's an excellent kick through which the fullback is chasing. Oh, and a fumble from the opposing fullback. Looks like it's led to a try there. The PDRL United boys going to celebrate their second try of the game. So that brings the score to PDRL United 8, Colostomy UK 4. Both tries for PDRL United this afternoon have come off of kicks, both which weren't dealt with. You know, I think there's a lot to be said for good kick chase, for good effort on both tries from PDRL United. We've got roughly 10 minutes left to play, and they've got to defend this next set coming at them now from Colostomy UK. But they've put themselves probably in a very good position to see this game out. Oh, great little pass through the legs. Connor Lyons has got a job to do here. And a lovely finish from the number 18 there for Colostomy UK. And a clear demonstration of just how fast this game can be there. Colostomy UK level the scores within a blink of an eye in the next set. And it'll be up to PDRL United to see if they can respond now as they look to push up in and around the ball. It goes wide to the left and there is a little bit of space out there, but they've got to make the most of these quick play the balls. The kick goes high and up to the right. These have been causing problems all afternoon. Well claimed. But it was the last tackle, so a good tackle, cover tackle, forces a turnover. Oh, a great little show and go there, buys another 10 metres, and again that quick play the ball for them to roll off the back of. Hands just letting the Colostomy UK player down there. Not surprised, it's very cold, my hands are probably would let me down as well. Referee just calls time off there to deal with a little bit of an injury for a PDRL United player. It was help from the pitch by his teammates. Another great example of the camaraderie we see, not just in this game or games of PDRL or games of Masters, but the game of rugby league in general. Just over 6 minutes left to play now as Colostomy UK look to attack. That's an outstanding line and good push. The referee again though pulls it back just for a slight touch. And a great cover tackle again there. The PDRL United players showing some great enthusiasm at this late point to get back and cover the break. And I think that would probably sum up this game for me so far. PDRL United, lots of enthusiasm, lots of endeavour. But it's got to be said that the clear chances have gone to Colostomy UK. They've been the ones making the breaks, they've been the ones attacking, and it's probably you know, it's probably that enthusiasm that's just kept PDRL United this close in the game. You know, kick chase tries, they're based all off of how hard you work. And that's one for the trophy shelf. Kick from Alex Dickinson there, my front row colleague. He doesn't often do that. PDRL United bunching here on the left. if Colostomy UK can swing the ball, there is space out there, and it looks like they're trying to do that. Oh, lovely little flick pass an inside ball, and the ball comes wide. It's a forward pass there, but in this game we're just going to call that a tackle. That's the last tackle here. The referee allowing the play of the ball there again, showing the new player it is their debut today just what she needs to do. Great work from marker there by Darren Dean, forces a turnover. I don't think Colostomy UK are too upset about that. They're in a good position to defend here. Tommy Pouncey looks for a man on the inside. As the boys have tired though, there's not as much push around that ball. Someone needs to get in it. Dummy half here. And a little bit of a miscommunication there forces the turnover on halfway. Good defence from Team Colostomy UK. Connor Lyons looks perplexed. I'm not sure why. It kind of looks like that quite a lot of the time, to be honest with you. I think it's something to do with being a teenager.
His blood sugar's low, probably.
Just over 3 minutes, and both teams will be desperate to defend here. Colostomy UK on the attack at the minute. Again, working that right hand side, looking to find a little bit of space. Good work from marker there, forces the third tackle in this set. Referee gives a penalty here for offside. Team PDRL United really pushing to get that ball back, just encroach around the ruck. And they take the tap quickly, looking to catch PDRL United out. A diving tackle from Mick Greensmith just stops the break. Pick up on the bounce. Tried to use a little bit of footwork. Good work from marker again from Connor Lyons. Trying to move the ball quickly, but hands just letting the guys down. Again, as we've got deep into the sort of the throws of this second half, into the back end of it, both teams seem to be feeling the pace a little bit. There's a little chip to the corner, recovered. PDRL United trying to work the way out of that corner, probably the worst position on the pitch to find yourself stuck, and it's Colostomy UK this time who are pulled for offside at the ruck. A relieving penalty there for PDRL United. Darren Dean looks to take his team out a little bit more, build a little more space, followed up by Dan Roberts, both captains working hard. A half-hearted call for a high tackle there on an inside ball. I'm not sure if you're not tackling if you can actually call anything a high tackle. Good up and in your face pressure. Again forces the fifth tackle on PDRL United. There's a slip there from Owen Lockwood as he kicks the ball. Chase through is a staggered one, it's fair to say, but Connor Lyons and Alex Dickinson combined to make the tackle. 30 seconds left to play as the countdown music comes on behind me, and there's a break here. Support on the inside, and again This is last chance saloon for both teams. PDRL United desperate not to concede. Colostomy UK wanting to win the game right now. And the kick goes up high. This will be the last action of the game. Is dealt with by PDRL United. And that's the final whistle. The final score today finishes 8-all, 2 tries apiece. Probably a fair reflection of the game, I'd have thought. Both teams worked very hard. I think both teams maybe weren't expecting the pace of the game that they got. Both teams showed glimpses of really good rugby. You know, 2 good kicks for the PDRL United team that they scored off, and some good hands from Team Colostomy UK. I don't think either team will be upset with the score, as competitive as all these guys are. We've had a great day out this morning, this afternoon, for a couple of great causes. I know that the Colostomy UK guys want to play as many games as they can, and PDRL United, this is their first run out together. For some of these guys, it's the first run out they've had in sort of 5 or 6 weeks, so I'm sure they've all really enjoyed the game. I've been Ben Nicholson, you've had the marvellous Emma Kirk as well earlier in the game, and we've really enjoyed this game today. Finished 8-all between PDRL United and Team Colostomy UK.
for the swearing one.